All right, let's dive into something pretty wild today. We're looking at a brand new game called WattsTap from the folks at BTN.ai. Now, this one starts with a super simple idea, but trust me, it's got a seriously ambitious endgame.
So I want you to picture this. You're on your phone, just tapping away at the screen. You know the drill, right? It's that familiar, almost mindless action from 100 other mobile games. But what if every single one of those taps was building towards something huge? And there it is. That's the twist. The entire goal of WattsTap is to connect that simple tap to building a virtual solar power plant that's actually tied to real-world energy. It's a massive idea, I know. So let's break down exactly how they plan to pull this off. Okay, so at its heart, WattsTap is what you'd call a play-to-earn game. But it's more than that. It's actually designed to be the very first major use case, or utility, for the BTN token. The whole thing is built from the ground up to be super intuitive and get you hooked from the first second you start playing. The game is basically split into two completely different parts. You kick things off in a 2D world where it's all about actively tapping to earn your keep. But that's just the first step. The real endgame is getting to part 2, a 3D world where you stop working so hard and start building assets that make money for you. So let's focus on that first phase. The core mission is all about that tap. This is where you start your journey, literally building up your power one tap at a time. The gameplay loop here, it's designed to be incredibly simple and, honestly, really satisfying. You tap the character, you instantly get a reward. You see your watts number go up, your XP bar fills. The game is constantly telling you, hey, what you're doing matters. Tap, earn, get stronger. It's as simple as that. Now check this out. This quote right here is from the developers themselves, and you've got to appreciate the honesty. Their goal, in their own words, is to make the game addictive. They want this tapping process to be so engaging, so rewarding, that it's always on your mind. That's a pretty bold thing to say, and it shows how confident they are in the design. And, to keep you coming back for more, they've built in this really clever little mechanic. The game rewards you for being consistent. If you're playing actively, you're always moving forward. But if you take a break for a while, your progress can actually slide back just a little bit. It's this gentle push to get you back in the game and keep that momentum going. Of course, tapping is just how you get started. The real fun begins when you start spending what you've earned to upgrade your power. Let's look at how that works. This is where the two-currency system comes into play, and it's super important. You've got watts, the free currency you earned just by tapping. You use that for all the basic stuff, like simple upgrades. But then you have BTN, the actual crypto token. That's for the big moves, getting powerful boosters, opening special chests, or just flat out accelerating your progress. This creates a real, tangible reason to use BTN inside the game. So, you've got a bunch of different ways to climb the ladder here. You can upgrade your character's gear, you can gamble on chests hoping for rare loot, or you can go head-to-head with other players in tournaments. You can even use short-term boosters for a quick power surge. It's all about building out your character to make every single tap you do more and more valuable. All of this grinding, all this upgrading, it's all leading up to your first massive goal in the game, unlocking the portal. And this is absolutely crucial. Getting through that portal isn't just about tapping until your fingers fall off. Nope. You have to hit 3 very specific milestones. You need enough of the in-game currency, you need to reach a high enough experience level, and you need to prove yourself in tournaments. This basically makes sure that only the really dedicated players get to the next stage. And this is the whole point, right? The portal is that moment where everything changes. You're shifting from a game that demands your constant, active attention to one where you start building something that works for you. So once you're through that portal, the game totally flips on its head. You step into this 3D world, and this is where you start building your empire for real. The best way to think about it, and the developers even use this analogy, is that it's like SimCity. You get a piece of land, and you start building your own solar power plant from the ground up. This is where the real strategy starts to kick in. And this really puts it all into perspective. That 2D tapping game, that was the grind. It was exciting, sure, but it needed your time and your effort. The 3D game, though, that is the payoff. The solar plant you build starts generating watts for you passively. The bigger and more efficient it is, the more you earn, even when you're offline. So how does this all circle back to the crypto side of things? Well, the entire game, from start to finish, is built around the BTN token's economy. And that purpose is to create real, undeniable utility for the BTN.ai token, BTN. And they are not messing around here. They've made it crystal clear. Inside the WattsTap game, BTN is the one and only crypto accepted for purchases. Not USDT, not anything else, just BTN. This makes the token absolutely essential for any serious player. So when you zoom all the way out, you see the grand vision. WattsTap isn't just a game. It's really an educational tool. It's designed to teach players, in a fun way, how their digital actions can actually connect to real-world value. The final step is to bridge this whole in-game economy to actual tokenized solar energy assets, which they're calling kilowatt tokens. You start with a simple tap, and you end with a token backed by real electricity. It's a heck of a journey. And that leaves us with a really fascinating question to chew on. We have seen so many play-to-earn games, but very, very few have ever tried to build such a direct and ambitious bridge to physical, real-world assets. So could this model, using a fun, addictive game as a friendly on-ramp to something as complex as tokenized energy, be the future of how crypto projects actually create and prove their value? Well, I guess only time will tell.